Welcome back, everyone. Sunday, the 28th of June, 2026. Boy, oh boy, this month has flown by.
Well, there's been a bit happened, Paul. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what, happened. I hope the rest of my life don't go by as fast as June. Blimey, mate. It's gone by incredibly quick. Good evening, everyone. As I say, Sunday, the 28th of June, 2026. Welcome back to the show. Welcome home. Wherever you are across the world, particularly if you're in the beautiful United Kingdom. What's the weather like at home at the moment, Rich?
Glorious. It's nice and cool now. The very sort of hot and muggy weather's gone. It's sunny. What time is it now? It's sort of 9:30, and it's still bright and sunny here in Northern Ireland.
Beautiful, beautiful. The sun's gone down here about half an hour ago, so I'm actually looking out the window at the pitch black. But right, welcome everyone. I mean, Richard, we wasn't necessarily going to do a live tonight, but I mean, I've got a list of stuff here. Boy, oh boy.
Oh, where do you start?
Where do you even start? Where do you even start? I mean, I've got a couple of big topics I want to get into a little bit later on in the show. Mostly, I want to talk about things that are going on in the background. There's a lot of things I believe are going on in the background. Some of it we kind of got a little bit of a handle on. I think there's things that we certainly haven't got a handle on, things that are going on that we don't know. I've got a sneaky feeling that Nigel Farage might be in a bit of trouble. I think there's something going on there with reform. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later on. I don't know what your opinion on that is because we haven't actually spoke about it.
I mean, it depends if you're talking about the money situation. Is he in trouble? He should, to be honest, my personal opinion on it, right? And I am one of Nigel's biggest critics, so I'm not a Nigel fanboy. But my personal opinion on this is the guy did give him the gift, right? As far as I know, he was given the gift when he wasn't standing as an MP. He was standing and he wasn't standing because Nigel does flip-flop a bit. I think it's something over nothing. I think there's a lot of jealousy. I think, obviously, to the general public, to me, like 5 million quid, it's a huge chunk of money. But in the circles that they're moving in, maybe it's not a huge chunk of money. Maybe it's just like a gift that people get. I don't know. I'm not in that sort of elite sphere of people, so all I can do is look on from the outside and say, well, if someone gave me 5 million quid, it'd be pretty life-changing. But I don't think it's a mega big deal, to be honest with you.
We're getting to the meat and bones of it later on because there's a few things to go for on that, Richard. Cease here has put up a great comment. I was going to mention this later on. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see Catherine Birbalsingh?
Do you know what? Someone sent me it in a group, and I've just been that busy today. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. Someone sent me and said it's a fantastic speech.
Mate, it was incredible. I mean, at some stage in the future, I want to actually play it on screen and go through it. You know, I sent it to my kids, I sent it to all my friends. I said, look, watch this. As a parent, as a grandparent, you got to watch this video because she absolutely nails it. Brilliant.
Well, it was put in, like I said, it was put in a group. I'll get looking at it when I get a bit of time,
Yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. Let's have a little look here. What's this one? Hold on a sec. Go on, gents. Feed the idiots some conspiracy theories on a Sunday and deflect the 5 million bung. Well, look, we're going to talk about it later. Hank, give us a chance, mate. We're going to talk about it later on. Give us a chance.
What hope is it, Paul?
I know.
Can I just say something, right? I had a rare moment of clarity for me, and see all the people that enjoy the division and get off on it.
Yeah.
Well, just get off.
Yeah.
Just get off and go. Because I tell you what we need more than anything is unity, Paul. Right? Now, here's a conspiracy theory for you here. The left want to keep us disunified and fighting like cats in a bag. How about that for a conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Because if they can keep Restore, Ben, Rupert, Nigel, and Kemi fighting like cats in a bag, we lose everything.
Yeah, we do
we
indeed.
Could finish the stream there because this is the most important thing. Here's the thing: everybody, including the Conservatives, including Restore, and everybody knows my skepticism about some of the people in Restore. I've got loads of friends in Restore. I've also got loads of people. Not that they're not my friends. I don't agree with them ideologically. Yeah. But I tell you what, Paul, see for this next election, whenever it is, we'd better get the hell together.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Right. So for those that are concerned about all that, we're going to be talking about it later on. I'll tell you another video. Someone's just said, where can they watch that video? It's on YouTube. If you put in Catherine Birbalsingh into the chat. In fact, what I'll try and do is I'll try and just find it, just so that I can put the actual title up. Hold on a second. Oh, my computer's playing up here. Hold on. Yep, no, I'm not going to be able to do that for the moment, but I'll try and find it at some stage during the show. Pop it up in the chat. It's an amazing video, one that every parent and grandparent should watch and pass it on to their kids. Another great video this evening that I watched earlier, actually, whilst I was preparing for this show tonight. It's from the New Culture Forum, Rafe Heidelmann-Q. Great guy, Rafe. Love Rafe. He's brilliant. The video is titled The Real Reason for Two-Tier Policing. And he's got a gentleman on there that I've not actually come across before. He's written a book. And they were going through the subject of this book is why two-tier policing exists in this country. And this gentleman is saying that basically it's because the police are scared of riots from ethnic communities, certain different communities within the country. And again, I think it's another video that you really must watch. He talks about how fragmented our society is, not sure that it can ever be healed, gone past the tipping point. And he pointed out a couple of stats here, Richard, which were mind-boggling to me. 1 in 25 people that currently live in the UK have arrived in the last 5 years.
Wow.
That is astonishing. 1 in every 25 people that you see walking around our towns and cities arrived within the UK within the last 5 years. There are now more Muslims in the UK than there are Welsh people. And in 2022, have a listen to this one. This is an interesting stat. In 2022 alone, under Boris Johnson, don't forget, would it have been Boris then? It would have been, wouldn't it? 2022.
Yeah.
Anyway, under the Tories, right? In 2022, more illegal migrants arrived on the shores of the UK on rubber dinghies than the entire number of Roman soldiers that landed in the UK and conquered Britain all those years ago.
Why am I not surprised by that, Paul?
Those are some amazing statistics. And I think, you know what, Richard, watching, I don't know if you saw any of the video that I put up from the Nowhere photographer the other night. It was a really good video. I think it's now clear that it's very obvious that this is all orchestrated. It's not, you know, nobody wants to stop it. They're not trying to stop it. They've got no intentions of stopping it. And it's just a never-ending cycle, isn't it? It's just a completely never-ending cycle.
Do you know what do you know what came to me today, Paul? That basically the establishment from the king down, from the King of England, right the way down to the lowest PC, the lowest PC. If you're a PC, hand in your warrant card and go and jump off Beachy Head if you're a PC, right? Because we don't need PCs. We want proper coppers that arrest people, wrestle on the ground, and if there's like those lads in Golders Green, we want coppers like that sorted out that jihadi in Golders Green. and flipping tasered him and kicked him in the head. That's what we want. We're
Yeah.
proper coppers, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, from the king right down to the lowest ranking official, whether he's a civil servant or a PCPC, the establishment has declared war on the British people.
Yeah.
That's what they've
Absolutely.
done, Paul. They hate us. They betrayed us. They see us as that lot. That's another thing I want to talk about tonight, that lot, because that's something that needs sorted out. They have a complete loathing for the British people. And I think there's going to be a day of reckoning, Paul. I think it's going to be a day of reckoning.
Well,
But I don't know. How is that? Is there going to be a day of reckoning? I mean, what, who's going to do what? How can there be a day of reckoning?
yeah, I'm not so sure, Richard. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I mean, who was
Is there any
saying it?
fight left in the British people?
I was going to say, who was saying it the other day? I'm trying to remember who said it. I can't remember, but someone said the British men just haven't got the guts.
Well, they have in Northern Ireland.
Well, Northern Ireland, but we're talking about predominantly we're talking about England here, but Scotland and Wales as well. This commentator was saying that we're just not up for it anymore. And I've got to be honest, I do wonder. There are times when I wonder. I mean, I know there are people that will stand up and fight if necessary. I know there are people that will stand up for themselves and stick up for the country. Some of them will be watching this right now. But I think when you look around the vast majority of people in the UK now, they haven't got they couldn't punch their way out of a paper bag. And when we look at the communities that we're potentially going to be at odds with, and again, I go back to the Rafe Heidelman Q interview with this gentleman whose name I forget. You'll have to forgive me. He's written this book again. The real reason for two-tier policing. Watch it; it's an amazing video and looks like a really interesting book that I'm certainly going to be buying. And when you listen to his reasoning and his theory about how we're going and where this is all leading, the prognosis is shockingly negative. Unfortunately, it's not good. The bottom line is a very small minority of people in this country have muscled their way into power. And we've stood back and we've allowed them to do it. And far too many people have been far too quiet.
To be honest with you, Paul, it's not. I don't blame the populace. Well, I do. I tell you who I blame. Those 55% of morons in Makerfield that voted for Burnham.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care if you were trying to get rid of Keir Starmer. Get a brain in your head. I mean, really, let us know in the comments if you were from Makerfield, right, and you voted Labour, because Paul has a great psychiatrist he uses all the time. I'm perfectly stable, so I don't need one. There's nothing wrong with my head. So Paul's got a really good psychiatrist. There's a few other people that could do with using him in our movement as well. But if you voted Labour in the Makersfield by-election, let us know and we'll put you in touch with Paul's psychiatrist. How's that for a deal?
I just wonder, Richard, I don't know. Sometimes I'm at a loss with our people, our own people. I think when I look around the world at how other nations are prepared to stick together and fight for each other and have each other's back, we just seem to have lost that completely.
Well, in England, yes. I mean, in Northern Ireland, I'm going to tell you now, in Northern Ireland, believe you me, there's fight in the people of Northern Ireland. You better believe it. Nobody's. No, I
don't doubt it. I don't doubt it for a moment, Richard. I don't doubt it for a moment. But the other thing that's really
put it this way, right? Like Ballymena last year, one girl, and I mean, it was a dreadful, brutal sexual assault, right? One girl was sexually assaulted, right, by an OC, organised crime gang. Yeah, mate, the city burned. A small city, it burned for 3 days. I mean, literally burned for 3 days. Once this all came out, Belfast 2 weeks ago, and I'm not condoning this, and I'm not saying, but I'm not going to condemn it either, Paul, because I'm sick of all the politics of condemnation because it doesn't work. It doesn't get us anywhere. So Belfast 2 weeks ago, that monster took a very vulnerable autistic lad and tried to butcher him. Right, Belfast burned for 2 days, right, and then stopped like that. Yeah. Now here's the difference. 250,000, and this is to Englishmen, right? And I'm an Englishman, but I live in Northern Ireland. 250,000 of the daughters of our country were raped, brutalized, murdered, sodomized in the most disgusting, despicable fashion. And
Yep.
yous have done nothing.
Yep.
You haven't lifted a finger. You haven't had a protest outside the rest. We told you where all the restaurants were in Telford, where it was happening. Not one protest. Not one protest. Because there's no backbone, and you just need to grow some backbone, and that's all there is to it. And I'll tell you something else, Paul. Ariana Grande, right? Girls blown to bits. Blown to bits. And what was everybody encouraged to do by Raikou? Have a bumblebee tattoo and don't look back in anger. I tell you what, I'm still angry about Ariana Grande. I'm still angry about Lee Rigby. I'm still angry about the 250,000 girls that were raped. And our protests need to get angry, right? Our protests need to get angry because the state and the monsters that have done all this have got away with it far too long. And I'm telling you, people need to get radical.
What about this recently, or over the last couple of days, this has come out about, was it 4,000 grooming instances in London, and Sadiq Khan has been turning a blind eye to that, pretending it doesn't happen.
Well, what's going to happen with the London one? And I think the London stuff's been put out deliberately. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't think the London one's going to be exclusively Muslim, right? I think there's going to be a lot of drug gangs involved. I think there's going to be a lot of multiracial criminal networks involved, right? The vast majority of the grooming gangs in the rest of the country are a Pakistani Muslim organized crime mafia. That's just what it is, right? It is a Pakistani Muslim OCG. And actually now, because they're aligning themselves with the Free Palestine movement, they are actually narco-terrorists, right? That's what they are. Some of these MPs, we have photographs that I'm not going to name them because, again, you know, they've probably got bigger bank accounts than me and they sue the arse off me. But we've got photographs of some of those MPs, those Free Gaza narco-terrorist MPs, right, standing with the drug-dealing grooming gangs, having selfies taken with them.
Yeah. I've seen them.
You know, so do you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the pandering to them. And then you've got these organizations like Five Pillars and all these targeting people like me, putting my name out and the area where I live in, you know, Muslim Brotherhood associated flipping groups as well, putting my name out and where I live. This is what we're up against, Paul. We're up against a very organized criminal network, and the government is facilitating it.
Yeah, but Richard, look, Karen's making a fair point there. She says, "Dear, oh dear, Richard, I think it has made no difference in Belfast, has it?"
Well, obviously, maybe I don't know where you live, Karen, but obviously you're not talking to the people I'm talking to, because I know it's made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly been some changes.
I know it's made a difference.
Yeah.
We'll put it this way: there's loads have moved away, loads of wrong-uns have moved, so I know it's made a difference.
I mean, look, there's a video that I come across. I wanted to go back, talk about the policing. First of all, look, let's get this one out of the way. We can't actually talk about this one now because it's an ongoing case and we all know what that means, etc. This is the incident in London with the alleged Somalian driver. Then we got the 2-year-old girl with the African migrant. Let's have a look. Have I got anything on there? I don't want to dwell on that too much either. But yeah, I mean, we can read this out because, you know, again, it's an ongoing case. I mean, this is where we got to now in the UK. You know, we can't even talk about this stuff. But
well, you can talk about all of that because it's in the public domain.
This is in the public domain. Yeah. Migrant from the Central African Republic, Kevin Kirjine, has been charged with the murder and rape of a 2-year-old child. I mean, it just beggars belief. And I just wonder when people are going to wake up and, you spoke earlier on about the people that voted Labour in Makerfield. I mean, mate, my disdain for those people is off the chart. I just don't know what planet they're living on to even consider it. But
the left are a deluded, depraved people. Deluded and depraved people. Very evil people, actually. Very evil people. No doubt about that. We're in a fight. We're in a battle between good and evil, Paul.
Oh, well, Richard, we've been in the fight between good and evil for a very long time now. Andrew, thank you. Became a member. Appreciate that. Charlie, good evening, brother. Hope you're well. Big love. Thank you, Charlie. Mr. Tunnicliffe, how you doing? Good evening. We should unite. The queue is stopping it.
Paul,
good question. Very good question.
This is the key. This is the key. We've got to unite. It's the only chance. And look, at least if we get a cobbled together right-wing government, we're not going to get what we want. I don't want to be, have people, from our persuasion sharing power with some of the people in the Tory party, because they're the ones who did it. I don't want Nadeem Zahawi with all the stuff he did over the COVID and what's her name, Nadine Dorries and the online set. I would much prefer not to have anything to do with them, right? But here's the thing, Paul. If it means that we actually get something done and we get a big majority, but if these people shaft us again, there is going to be a day of reckoning.
Yeah. No, Richard, I agree. Steve Carter, Aviation. Cheers, Steve. Paul and Richard, keep up the good work. Member for 4 months. Cheers, Charlie. Paul, you need to watch Tim Reed's interview with Camilla Tominey. I watched it earlier, actually. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. Apparently, the majority of the public don't want a general election. Yeah, I saw that, Charlie. Disgraceful. Something else that Charlie sent me earlier on. This is an interesting little map, this, Richard. You're talking about unity. This, admittedly, I believe is from a reform source. But this map of the UK shows what can be achieved with tactical voting.
Wow.
Look at the colour of that map.
Wow.
Just look at that.
Yeah.
Now, that is what can be achieved with tactical voting.
Let me put my glasses on. Have a look.
That is, let me just, because it's a bit small, let me just read it out. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the actual image up. And I can read out the actual figures. There we go. So, projected seats with a unified right. Conservative, 133. Reform, 347. Restore Britain, 1. Labour, 59. Lib Dems, 28. Green, 16. SNP, 28. Plaid, 8. Other, 12. That would give a right-wing majority of 312 seats. And this is what can be achieved with sensible, grown-up, tactical voting and grown-up politics.
That's it's all there for the taking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously, I would imagine that the Greens and the Labour Party, they'll probably try and do tactical voting as well. But if that's factual, right? I don't know who did the research or where that came from. But if that's factual, look, it needs to be done. And, through gritted teeth, holding our nose, we will have to put up with that. I mean, really and truthfully, you could have a situation where the I was going to say, the Conservatives and Reform would be in opposition to each other, but that kind of wouldn't work. But, if they do that, it's got to hold together. And, I think the other thing is, and I want to talk about Richard Tyson and his That Lot comment. It's about time Richard made an open and frank apology to that lot.
I believe you're right, Richard. I do believe you're right.
And the reason I'm saying that, Paul, is because I want the right to win. And I think the conclusion, I think even Rupert Lowe's coming to this conclusion, is that the only two parties on the right, and I hate to say this, I hate saying this, but the only two parties on the right that can really break through without causing massive chaos and damage is Reform and the Conservatives.
See, I have an issue with that. I don't consider the Tories to be on the right politics.
Well, there are some right wing, and there's some very good
Half a
MPs
dozen.
in the Tory party. You know, Nick Timothy,
Half a dozen.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, I
Well,
mean, look,
well,
Richard, for me, I
Paul,
mean, look,
what you've just showed there,
yeah,
was okay. Let's just be brutally frank. That would give the that would give Reform a big. I think what will actually happen is if Kemi does a deal with Reform, a lot of those left wing Tory MPs will probably leave, and they'll go to the Lib Dems.
I just don't trust them, Richard. I don't trust
them.
them.
Paul, I don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
I do not. I don't trust.
Richard, for me, do you know what, mate? It goes even further in not trusting them. Look, these people were this party was responsible for bringing in more migrants into this country than we had in a lot.
I know.
How can we ever forgive them?
They tried to break Brexit. They brought in the Online Safety Act. All of this legislation that the Labour Party are using to lock people up is not Labour legislation, it's Conservative legislation. So you're right. I know. But it's just the Labour Party is so bad, Paul. I'm just thinking, get them out.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, anything but Labour. There has to be a deal. The problem is, and the big question is, as the viewer said earlier on, Richard, who's going to broker it? I mean, that is the big issue. Save the United Kingdom. Thank you. Love you both. I'd love to meet you all one day. And Danny in Spain. Just check out Danny Tomo update about the 2-year-old girl. Can you pop that up on the screen for us, mate? I'd appreciate that. Philip, thank you, Philip. I know you are talking about serious subjects, but I find it amusing when Richard shuffles in his seat as he makes his crunch point. I'll tell you, mate. A body language expert would pull Richard to pieces. I'll tell you.
Well, not really. They just say he's a crazy man.
I'd say you got to get those chow fonts sorted out, mate. You know what the chow fonts are? Chow fonts and Giles. Come on, you're not a Londoner, are you?
Listen, I'm not a cockney, mate.
Charlie again. Cheers, mate. 480 seats in total if they unite. Exactly. Well done for that earlier on, Charlie. Thank you. Appreciate you sending that to me earlier on. I mean, that's the big question, Richard. Who? So look, who's gonna bring people together?
Well, listen,
who's going to talk?
It's everybody's job. It's everybody's job to encourage people. I would love. I mean, and thanks for reminding me about how rotten the Tories are. I would love actually the good Tories, the likes of Nick Timothy and all them ones, to actually defect to Reform and just completely annihilate the Tory party. Right? Will that happen? I don't know, but that would be the best option. And I'll tell you how I think we could actually get this mega majority. Rupert and Ben and Nigel sit down and sort themselves out. No matter what's going on, as horrible as it's been, and again, I feel for Rupert because what they did to Rupert was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Willing to send that man to prison at 67-year-old, all his guns taken off him. Don't know if he got them back. He got them back. Yeah. Did he? He got them back. But even so, the police raiding his house, a businessman, as far as I know, no criminal, hasn't got a criminal past. So that was disgusting. But here's the thing. We've got a country to save. And if that was me, and I mean this because anyone knows me knows I actually am very forgiving. I kind of, I don't hold grudges against people. I genuinely don't. I get angry with people. I don't hold grudges. If I was Rupert, I'd go, do you know what? For the sake of the country, I'll sit and talk to that guy.
I agree.
Stalin and Churchill sat down together. Churchill hated Stalin, and Stalin hated Churchill. But they joined together, a communist and a Tory, to defeat the greatest evil the world had ever seen until that point.
The Queen shook hands with Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness.
Well, don't even talk to me about that. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. But
you get the drift, right? But the thing is, Richard, I mean, I will say this because I see this so often. I've seen it today, probably half a dozen times, scrolling through X and that. People that say, "Oh, how can how can Rupert ever work with a man that had his guns taken away and all this, right? Blah blah blah." And look, and I said this the other night, Richard. I can speak from first-hand experience. I've had all that. I've had the police raid my house. I've had the police take my guns. I've had the police trying to put me away for defending myself, right? But I tell you what, mate, when it comes to saving our country, it's a minor. It's a minor.
That's what I think. That's what I think, Paul. I agree.
It is literally a minor, right? You know, put it all to bed, guys, right? Now, going on to Nigel for a moment, right? And I'm trying to be apolitical. I want to be fair to Rupert. I want to be fair to Nigel, fair to Ben. You know, I want to be fair to everyone, right? I did put out an offer yesterday. I don't know if you saw that video, Richard, right? I've put an offer out to any YouTuber that supports Restore and has been banging Restore's drum. I've put out a polite offer to debate with them because I think there are many issues that we need to get resolved that people need to understand. But we'll put that to one side tonight. This thing with Nigel Farage, I've just got an inkling that there might be a little bit more to this than meets the eye. Now, the 5 million donation that was made, frankly, I couldn't give a shit, right? If someone rung up tomorrow and said, here, Paul, have a guess what? Someone's only given Richard 5 million quid. I go, oh, well, good luck, Richard, right?
All you'd be saying is, Richard, don't buy that big villa next to me.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. No, but seriously, you know, if someone wants to give someone 5 million quid, who
By the way,
cares?
just a point of order. If anybody wants my bank details that they want to drop 5 million quid into it, don't just the email. My email address is really easy to find. Just send me an email, and you've got no problem.
I mean, look, if it's broken rules, that is a different kettle of fish, right? And if he's got questions to answer, but you know, watching Nigel over the last few days, there's something not right. There's something, you know, I'm not quite sure that he's an happy bunny, and his previous friend, I forget his name now. Was it the chairman or whoever it was? Can't remember the bloke's name, but you know, he's been saying. No. It was someone, a close ally of Nigel, saying, I think Nigel needs a break from politics, etc.
Oh, yes, it was David Bull.
That's it, David Bull, you got it. David Bull. Was he the former chairman? Anyway,
He was chairman,
yeah. He's saying, I think Nigel needs a break, etc. Now, the media are like a dog with a bone with this 5 million quid, right? They ain't going to let it go. They're going to keep banging on and on and on and on. Now, if this committee does find that something was amiss and a by-election's called, there's a potential that Nigel might just go, you know what, sod this, right? I've had enough. You know, sod it. I've tried my best. I've had enough, right?
I mean, is it a criminal thing, the privilege committee, or is it just a, you know, you have to forfeit your seat?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a criminal thing. I don't. There's no laws being broken.
I mean, to be honest with you, right, Nigel, and again, I've massive problems with Nigel because the way he's treated us down through the years, the way he's spoken about us. But let's give him fair dues, because what I'm trying to do now, Paul, with Rupert, with Nigel, with all the leaders on the right, is not be just Mr. I'm going to slag you off, you're wrong. And Nigel got Brexit, no doubt about it. Nigel is Mr. Brexit. Yes, of course, everybody else all put the hand to the plough, but it was him that pushed and pushed and pushed until Cameron caved in and gave the country a referendum. So Nigel is responsible for Brexit, which if it ever gets delivered will be a great thing. But so who could blame Nigel for saying, do you know what? I'm 60 odd year old. You know, I've probably got 5 years of really good health left. I smoke like a train, drink like a fish. I'm flipping, you know, it's not good. It's not good. That's not aimed at you, by the way, Paul. I'm just thinking, but you get the drift with Nigel, right? So he's had a very stressful life. So 5 million quid, like maybe he just does want to quit and just kick back and enjoy himself. But then the question is, who does he hand it over to? Paul, you're muted.
There you go. That's the big one, isn't it? That's the big one.
Yeah.
You know, where does it go? I mean, dare I say it? Is he a Yusuf? There's a possibility.
No, absolutely not.
No, I'm not saying, Richard, I'm not saying that's what I want. What I'm saying is that's a possibility, right?
I'm
what
going to
I
tell
would
you now,
like to see.
if there's a Muslim leader of reform
Yeah, they're done.
Reform support on the radical right will absolutely melt like snow in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
It's
all over. It's all
Zaire
over.
Youssef needs to be gone. I know he says some good things, but he was the one that went at Sarah Pochin about the burqa ban. He was the one that he actually left the party over it. He spat the dummy out and left the party. That shows it's in him, Paul. At heart, the man is a Muslim who thinks the burqa is okay.
Let's put Zaire Youssef to one side for a moment. Other candidates, you'd have obviously the most obvious two I would have thought are Robert Jenrick and Suella Braverman's probably a bit of a long shot, but Suella would be will probably have a chance. I think the most likely candidate is Robert Jenrick now.
Or Richard. I think personally, my
not Richard Tice.
No, I know, but he's going to throw it. He's the deputy leader, so he'd become the leader automatically if Nigel stepped down until a new one's appointed. So he will be the leader, the interim leader, until there's if there's a leadership chance. And again, because of the way the party's structured, I don't even know if Nigel resigned, if the party survives, because Nigel's the CEO.
Exactly.
There's so many unknowables in all this.
Exactly. So this is what we're discussing, right? So let's just say, look, here's a scenario that could end up working where Nigel could potentially he could be the unifier in all this, right? We keep saying that we need to find a hero that can unify everyone. If Nigel was to stand aside and open up voting to the membership to elect a new leader, I think that the names on the ballot would be Richard Tice. I'm not sure if Suella would go. Do you think Suella would go for it? I'm not sure that she would.
I was going to say, I hope she does, because out of all the people that's joined Reform from the Tory party, Suella is head and shoulders above the rest of them.
Yeah. So let's
see. The thing is, I know where with Robert Jenrick, I know where the bodies are buried. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't have him anywhere near me.
Well, let's put the names down on our minds for a minute. So we're include Suella. So you'd have Robert Jenrick, Suella Braverman, Richard Tice. I don't see anyone else standing there. You could potentially then open up the door for Ben and Rupert to rejoin Reform, right? And if you allow
bring their people with them,
and
all the talent,
and all the talent, Ben wouldn't stand, but Rupert would, and then it's down to the membership.
I don't know whether they'd be able to do that constitutionally with the parties, bring them in and let them stand in an election straight away. Maybe Rupert probably could if Rupert transferred back into Reform as a full member of Reform.
As an MP.
That's what I'm saying, as an MP and a full member of Reform and as an MP, because he may not have even resigned his. He still might actually be a member of. I don't know. It's like Connor Tomlinson was saying the other day that he's still a member of Restore, but he's not. I don't think he's supporting Restore anymore. He's now kind of doing what we're doing and saying, okay, there's a lot of stuff needs sorted out, and I'm going to be a critical voice to all the parties until they sort it out. Which I think fair play to Connor. And I've been a massive critic of Connor because of some of the stuff he says. But to me, I'm not going to attack him to me he's done the right thing.
No, I've got no problem with Connor. I think Connor deep down is a good lad. KM says Reform would fold without Farage. Be careful what you wish for. KM, I'm not saying that I wish for that. I'm looking at a potential. We're looking. The title of tonight's video is Something's Going On, and I believe something is going on. I think there's things going on with Kemi. I think there's things going on with Rupert. I think there's things going on with Nigel. I think there's things going on all over the place in the background. There's a massive rumour going around at the moment, which Richard and I actually know a little bit about. We've been given information by some pretty reliable individuals that suggest that there's some kind of deal with Rupert and Kemi going on in the background. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure that I believe it. I really don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no to that. I don't know what your thoughts are, Richard. I mean, look,
I see speculation like that. There's no point in even getting involved in it. I
no,
think the most important thing is that we need to find a way of bringing people together, right? And the best way to do that is not with "you're a wrong," and I was going to use another word, but I'll not use that, even though it's past the watershed. You know, you're a wrong, and you know, you've done this and this. That's not the way to bring people together. The way to bring people together is say, okay, let's sit down, let's get in a room and sit down and work out what we agree on. And I've listened to Rupert's rhetoric over the last, well, in fact, pretty much every speech he's made for the last couple of months, right? Now, he doesn't often speak, it's often tweets, and the tweets don't necessarily reflect what he believes, because obviously it's another person doing the tweets, or certainly has access to that account.
yeah,
But when Rupert gets in front of a camera and talks to someone, I agree with everything Rupert says.
yeah, I agree,
Everything, right? There's not one thing I think Rupert said that I wouldn't agree with. I don't think I didn't agree with him, but this was way back when he was a Reform MP. I didn't agree with him voting for the assisted suicide thing. I thought it was a shocking decision, but I think he said he made a mistake there. I think he's actually, you know, realized that was a bad idea. But everything that he's saying at the minute about immigration, about where the problem really lies, what he did with the grooming gang inquiry, what's not to like there, right? So that's brilliant. Then you look at what Nigel's saying. Nigel's saying exactly the same things now.
yeah.
And as much as I don't like Zia Yusuf because of what he did over the Burqa thing, right? Zia Yusuf's saying the same things.
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
tell you what, I want to see
Richard Tice hardly ever speaks about these things. I think they're either beneath him or he doesn't have a grasp of them.
I think they've reined him in a little bit because he's a bit of a loose cannon, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, it's not even a loose cannon. But anyway, I'm not going to criticise people. Stop criticising people, Richard. But what I do want to see from Richard Tice is an apology about that lot saying.
Richard Tice, if you're watching this, if you get to see it, come on the show, right? Let's have a sensible chat, right? Honestly, we're not going to bite, right? Come and apologise to our viewers for calling us all that lot. Richard, there's an interesting point. Neil says, you know, good point. The mainstream media are using the same lawfare playbook they tried of Trump. Absolutely.
Of course they are. Of course
absolutely.
They are. You know,
I think the only thing is,
it's about delegitimizing people, Paul. That's what they're doing. It's about.
Well, Richard, that's what they tried to do with me and you know, for weeks.
Oh, yeah. And that was people who claimed to be on the right, and I think were plants.
Yeah.
You know,
for weeks.
Yeah. And they're still going at it. They're just not going at us. They're still going at other people and fighting like cats in the bag. Yeah. You know,
the problem. I think the thing is with Rupert. The only thing that would worry me with Rupert, if he was to suddenly become leader of Reform, for an example, or whoever he's leader of, right? I think that the rhetoric. I think Nigel is probably more clever with his rhetoric, right? In the respect that look, we love the way he calls it. For what it is, you know, millions have got to go, right? We love that, right? The problem is that, as I've said for a long time, it will scare off a lot of people.
Have you ever heard Rupert actually say that in a speech?
I think he has. I think I have heard him say that.
I'm not sure. Now, it is. I mean, it's like I said, Paul, and I'm going to keep saying this, right? Because hopefully it seeps into the psyche somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we know a lot of prominent people watch your channel, not my channel, Paul, but a lot of prominent people watch your channel, right? But I've got so much channel envy here. But you've got such a bigger your channel's so much bigger than mine, Paul. But anyway, enough of the smutty innuendos. I've totally distracted myself what I was saying there. But yeah, basically, I think when it comes to all what we're talking about here is finding a way to, if we can get everyone together and make this work, you know, all these people are watching the channel. Here's two sound bites that would win an election. First one is, we're going to make sure everybody in the country has cheap energy. And that is doable by open the oil wells, open the gas, fracking, just go crazy on energy, nuclear power stations, keep the green garbage going as well, get rid of all the subsidies,
And if
Give
you
the
wanted, and if you wanted an even bigger bonus, imagine how that would upset Zach Polanski. What's not to like?
And Ed Miliband. Ed Miliband would be heading for Beachy Head straight away
He'd be
with that
going for,
parachute.
he'd be having another bacon sandwich.
He'd be base jumping without a parachute off Beachy Head, right? Great. So solves 3 problems actually in one go, doesn't it? Solves the energy crisis and gets rid of Zach and crazy and Mad Ed. But if people actually, if somebody looks at the energy policy of this country, and I'd love to talk to Howard Cox about this. I'm gonna have to. I was going to get Howard onto the channel, and then all the stuff happened with Advance, and it kind of, we lost a bit of momentum with that. But if we could, if a party stood on the policy of we're going to net zero, forget about it. Forget about net zero. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. When China gets there, we'll get there, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows it's a con now. Everybody knows it's a scam. And if you don't, then you shouldn't have the vote. You should be in the psychiatric ward. So cheap energy for everybody. Anybody, and this is a mate of mine, give me this one. Anybody that shouldn't be here goes. You're not just saying all illegals. You're saying anybody that shouldn't be here goes. Yeah. But for the very sensitive, pearl clutching people that actually have a vote that are problematic to the stability of our country, that's a little bit less offensive to them, Paul, isn't it?
Yeah, you just go back to the law.
Everybody that shouldn't be here goes.
We're going to uphold the law. Everyone that shouldn't be here goes.
Yes,
it's very simple. You haven't
those two policies, those 2 sound bites will win any party the next general election.
I think another thing, Richard, I think, any prime minister that comes into power for the next PM, whoever it may be, if it was me or if I was advising, I'd say, what your first speech should really be about is reuniting everyone, reuniting the kingdom and making our country a place where the ethos is, what can we do to make your life better rather than what can we do to piss you off every day?
I think it's deeper than that, Paul. I think, the whole idea of Unite the Kingdom and the pledge and all those initiatives that we were involved in, which have kind of, got very bogged down in the weeds, that the whole idea of them was to basically get everybody, irrespective of your background, to be proud of the UK. Now, when it comes to the certain preferred demographic that pretty much hates this country, wants to take it over and impose Sharia law, they're never going to put the love of the Christian United Kingdom first. They're going to be, pretty much with 5 pillars and wanting to turn it into a Sharia hellhole, right? So I think we need to focus on that. Anybody that loves the UK, we think about the amount of ethnic minorities that come to our demos, the United Kingdom demos, wrapped in Union Jacks, Union Jack hats, Union Jack T-shirts. They're actually more proud of the Union Jack than a lot of Brits are, right? So I'd rather have them than the pink-haired freak that's wanting a free Palestine and to mutilate the genitals of our children. I mean, they
were born and bred in Surrey.
That's exactly, Paul. That's the whole point.
Scotty of John. Let me read these out, mate. Scotty of John, thank you, mate. Someone who called in on your last live said something about setting up something so that people know who to vote for tactically. It's a brilliant idea. It is a brilliant idea, Scotty. What I've got to do is I've got a couple of people that might be able to help us out with that one, but it's logistically, it's quite difficult, and I'm on it. June, thank you very much, June. Julie Blackman, evening, June. Evening, Julie. Unite or war up to the egos, I guess, 11th hour. Jack, thank you, Jack. Tories aren't on the right, they're all lefty thugs. Well, I'm not sure about the thugs, but I consider them to be bloody lefties, most of them, the vast majority.
That's a fair point. I mean, I get that. I totally get it.
Yeah. Julie again, not my king. Christ's channel starts this week. Nice one, Julie. Let me know and I'll give it a shout out. Well, this is lovely. Thank you very much. Look, sorry, I ain't got 5 mil, but he's 50. Nice one. Thank you very much for that. Lovely. keeps the wolves from the door. And the last one for the moment, Claudia. Thank you, Claudia. Buckingham Palace has announced that from now on, King Charles' roles have been redefined. Yep, he is no longer a defender of the Anglican Church, but defender of diversity and all the faiths. Devastating. Charles, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Well, the problem is, Paul, his son is just as bad.
Well, I don't know. We don't know.
Well, no, we do, because he said exactly the same things. So he's on record. We know that William is as bad, unfortunately.
Would he be any different when he's actually in situ?
Well, I mean, Charles has been plotting this since 1994, and apparently it was the Bishop Kai was on, and Bishop Kai was saying it was Justin Welby that stopped King Charles putting this in his coronation oath, that basically he was going to be the defender of all faiths. Welby said, "No, you can't do that. You are defender of the Reformed Protestant faith." And it's very, very specific. It's not the defender of Roman Catholicism. It's not the defender of Mormonism or Jehovah's Witness or any of the cults. It's a defender of the Reformed Protestant faith. That's what Charles's role was until this declaration's come out. And look, Charles I was beheaded for far less than this. Far less, you know. And I don't think Charles is going to be able to continue on for much longer anyway. I think Charles will be gone very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know. You know,
well, I don't class him as my king.
No, he's not. And do you know what?
He's a traitor. He's a traitor to his faith. He's a traitor to his country. He's a shameful, disgusting excuse of a man. I've no time for him whatsoever. And
for the first time in my life, and I mean the first time in my life, I don't think I can sing the national anthem.
No, I don't sing it anymore. And I hate that, because when the Queen was on the throne, you know, I would have sung that with such pride, you know.
Yeah.
But
I really don't think I could sing the anthem right now. You know, it still gives me a tingly spine, but not the King. For me, it's the, you know,
I can't sing God Save the King.
I can't.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should, because maybe that's what he needs, saving.
Well, he needs something, because ultimately he's just a massive letdown. He just, you know, right. I want to move on, Richard, to a little video that I've got here. This is a video that, for me, I don't know the entire context of this video, right? I'm not sure of the full context, but what I do know is that, or what I've been told, is that this is a migrant that is trying to butt a woman who's had too much to drink. Now, that is the allegation. I can't confirm that, right? But what we can see is, at the end of the video, is the way the police treat him. Let's watch this together and see what we make of it.
You stop! Check! You stop! Check!
Okay, please stop. Go.
Monica, what you want? What you want? What you want? Come with me. Come with me. You no good woman. Come. No take that down. No take that down. Hey.
I mean, before we go any further, Richard, never mind the allegation, right? We don't know if, you know, because, look, as I say, we don't know if that allegation is true. What I do know is whoever he is, he's a mouthy git, shouting away in the street like that.
Monica!
This is not.
I want to speak with him after you take him, because you bad woman. You bad woman. No problem. Hey, police. Come, police. Come, motherfucker, police. Come. You can. Hey, you don't me.
I want them out of our country.
You don't understand me. Me? No, never go back. Go away. What's up? Why you do that? Why you do that? Go. Go. Why you do that?
No problem. No, Monica is not.
Oh, this is a crazy woman! This is a crazy woman!
Come over here.
This is a crazy woman!
Come over here. Come over here. Just come over here with me.
No, this is my wife.
Just come over here with me.
No,
Come over here with me and just tell me what's happened, mate. Just tell me what's happened.
This woman not good.
Right? What's happened?
Now you can see there, Richard. I mean, look, I know police have to, I know it's their job to try and keep situations calm, but did you notice that guy there straight away put his hands on that copper, right? Grabbed his wrist in an aggressive fashion. If that was us,
I'd be next to assault the police officer.
we're nicked straight away.
Yeah.
No messing about.
Yeah.
They wouldn't speak to us like that. And if we go back to that guy that was sitting on the wall at Southampton, who they pulled off the wall and then beat the absolute shit out of about 7 or 8 of them.
And then he got remanded.
Yep.
He's out now, like, but he got remanded.
Yep. He was remanded. You know, anyone that doubts that we have this 2-tier policing system is either blind or stupid. And I go back to the video, you know, just for anyone that's joined us later on, right? There's 2 videos I'd like you to watch, guys. One is a video with Catherine Birbalsingh, the Britain's best-known head teacher. She gives a talk about parenting and how our kids have been betrayed, basically. And the other one tonight that was released earlier is the real reason for 2-tier policing. That's over at the New Culture Forum. And the subject is that, you know, the reason there's 2-tier policing is that the police are frightened of communities that will kick off a lot quicker than the British. In other words, we're the ones that are easy to control. And I go along with that 100%, Richard. Do you?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
100%. 100% I go along with that. There's no doubt whatsoever in my mind.
I mean,
none.
look, they're terrified of an uprising by the Islamo-fascist narco-terrorists. That's what they're terrified of.
I'm not sure they could be controlled, Richard.
Well, I don't think they could. I think, and that's exactly the problem that the government's got, you know, and that's why. Look, we did one of our demos about 2 or 3 years ago. We were doing the walk around with the police before the demo, and I said, "Look, what you're going to do if a whole lot of Antifa storm." It was the Trafalgar Square one in 2024. So what you're going to do with a whole lot of Antifa storm into Trafalgar Square and occupy it? They said, "Oh, well, it all comes down to numbers." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, the basic doctrine of policing in the UK is the mob with the biggest number of boots on the ground gets whatever they want." You know what I mean? Now, that seems to have changed under Keir Starmer a little bit, because we certainly didn't get what we wanted at those demos. But having said that, we pulled them off, and we not, you know. So you put tens of thousands of people on the street, then you have a lot of power with negotiating power with the police, because they want that to go off peacefully. Yeah.
I think one of the things, Richard, that all of our channels, whether we agree or whether we don't agree, and there's a number of what I would call right-wing channels that I watch who I don't agree with. I don't agree with their route. I don't necessarily agree with their attitude at times, but that's opinions, right? They probably don't like mine. But what I will say is I think that all of our channels combined over the last few years have done a hell of a lot to wake up the nation. A hell of a lot. Charlie, Paul, what do you think of England? And we could have a favourable route to the semi-final if Japan beat Brazil, bring it home, bring some joy to England. Do you know what, Charlie? I've got to be honest with you, right? And I've got to be very careful how I say this. I don't know. I mean, look, there's a video doing the rounds at the moment. I can't remember the player, so I don't want to guess because it wouldn't be fair. Someone will probably tell me in the chat, but there's a player that plays for England who said his heart really lies with Ghana. Right?
One of the England players?
Yeah. And not, I don't think they're in the squad at the moment. I can't remember which player it was. Someone will tell us. But he's played for England.
He's not at the World Cup, no.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Can't remember which one it was now. But I watched the video earlier on, and you hear him say, "Look, I love England, but my heart's really Ghanaian."
Well,
right?
Look, listen, son. My message to that lad will be: listen, son, you've got plenty of money now. Go and build a nice villa in Ghana. Don't come back. Because if your heart's with Ghana, we don't want you in the UK.
Well, the thing is, Richard, at the end of the day, when I watch, and it's not just England, is it? I mean, football has become now international football. When you look at a lot of European teams in the World Cup now, it's not really France,
No.
right? It's not really
Nope.
the Netherlands anymore,
I agree.
right? And the bottom line is it's become like club football.
It really has. I agree.
I mean, and that's not being in any way. That's not. I mean, look, my club, Fulham, right? My favourite players over the last 10 years, none of them have been white English. They've all been from another country or they've been of another colour. You know, my favourite player last year was a Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, and many of my favourite players at Fulham have been black or they've been from wherever, right? So it's nothing. It's nothing to do.
If we went and counted from yesterday's match, I think, and I don't like doing this, Paul. Again, like you, because it's not in my makeup to do this. It's not what I, you know, as anyone that knows me and listens to me regularly know, it's not what I'm about. But I think there was a majority of black players on the England team last
Oh, I
night.
think when they started, it was 8-3.
Eight black players, 3 white.
Yeah.
So you got Pickford, Kane. Who else?
And there was.
That lad Anderson.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's Anderson. Yeah. Anyway, look, the bottom line is this, right? Is that, listen, this is
But
not.
that in itself, right? That in itself, right? And again, this is not me being, you know, making it about colour. Well, it is in a way, but that in itself speaks volumes from what's happening in the UK. Because why is it that those players are getting so much opportunity to shine? I bet there's loads of white kids can kick a ball up and down for Bradford, you know, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, right? Why are they not getting picked up?
I'll tell you what, Richard. I will say this, right? Bearing in mind that I worked at a Premier League football
Yeah,
club
exactly.
for 4 years,
Well,
right?
your professional
yeah.
opinion would be really interesting.
I will say this: where football's concerned, colour does not matter, right?
No,
If
I
you're
know
good,
that, Paul.
if you're good, you'll get picked. If you're
Well,
bad,
okay.
you won't.
Well, let me say this though, Paul. It didn't matter 10 years. When were you at Fulham?
Well, 20 years ago, nearly.
Huh, exactly. I bet you it does matter now. I bet you it does.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Richard. My problem
And that's
was
the scary thing, because every single organisation has diversity quotas. I mean, I don't know if you noticed as well, right? And this is where we're just going to be. Do you know what the problem is? I've been hanging about the Proud Boys last week, Paul. So you know, male chauvinism and you know, is all you know, and flexing is what it's all about. But what really bugs the life out of me, right, is these female commentators.
Oh, mate, no.
I mean, like there was two women, right? Two. They look like Barbie dolls, right? Standing on the touchline, all perfect makeup and all the rest of it, doing the little sort of pre-match bit, right? And I'm thinking, well, I didn't know who they were because I don't watch women's football because it's crap, right? Sorry, I know he's won something a couple of years ago.
Oh, I don't mind
football
women's
is crap.
football, actually, but go on.
That's just because you like watching women running around. Paul,
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, nah, you know. So what's all that about? It's just diversity BS.
Oh,
And
it
I'm
is.
sick of it.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sick
is
of
for
it.
sure. It is for
And
sure.
They had that woman that looks like a cross between a Hobbit and a Barbie doll doing
Going
this.
on about immigration. Yeah. Oh,
No, I'm on about in the
no.
football where she was doing the Exiosies on the chalkboard.
Yeah, Emma Hayes. Yeah.
I mean, what was that about?
She said Cape Verde's victory was a victory for immigration, didn't she?
Diversity is our strength.
Anyway,
There you go. There's one for our enemies to clip. They'll have that one framed and clipped. Richard said diversity is our
Charlie,
strength.
you've
It's
opened
called
up a can of
sarcasm.
worms
It's
here.
called sarcasm.
You've opened up a. No, here's the thing, Richard. Right, the bottom line is this: look, from a club, I don't care where the players come from, right? As long as we win, couldn't give a shit, right? I don't care if the centre forward's pink or green, right? As long as he scores goals, he'll do for me, right? And because he's wearing the badge, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to international football, I think we need to get back to a level of association with a country in the respect that, I mean, when you look at the French team, I mean, Mbappe, one of the best players in the world, is he French? You know, I mean, we go back, and it's not all. I say it's not just about colour, Richard. Right? So anyone out there that's thinking it's about colour, it's not. How about what was his name? Was it Miroslav Klose? Who was the guy that was playing for Germany? He was a Pole, right? He was Polish.
Yeah,
and he was Germany's top goal scorer, right? And
the Turkish guy Ozil. Remember, was it Ozil? Do you remember the Turkish?
Mesut Ozil again, Turkish, played for Germany.
Yeah,
you know, is it international football where your players are English and they're born in England and whatever, or is it international club football where your players can come from anywhere?
But my issue, Paul, I really do think that. And again, it's a hunch, right? Just because of the way everything else has gone. And we know how flipping woke football got. I stopped watching it for about 2 or 3 years when they did the taking the knee stuff. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. And I love watching England because obviously my normal team, they're hardly ever.
Mind you though, mate, where you come from, you're only just about English, aren't you?
What do you mean?
Middlesbrough.
Well, I mean, listen, no, even worse. I was born in Liverpool, and when I traced, well, I didn't trace it. When I was traced, and I found out my heritage, I was basically more Irish and Scottish than anything else. You know what I mean?
So when you come from up there, mate, you're only a trip to the local shop, and you're a Scot.
Well, in Liverpool, mate. I mean, what do you call an Irishman that can swim? A Scouser. You know, I mean, that's what it is. That's why I'm good at swimming.
I'll tell you what, Richard. I bet. You know that little bit of light-eye banter. I bet someone's been offended.
Oh, I hope so. I do hope so. If you're offended, let us know in the comments. We'd be delighted to hear from you. You know.
But there you go. I mean, look, that's just me little rant on the football that Charlie asked about. Look, I'd love to see England win it. Of course I would, right? But it's just.
I'm not kidding, Paul. Right? This is no word of life.
You've got to have been born in the country that you're playing for, at the very least. Well, at the very least.
Oh, see when Panama came out, right, and they had the white tops on, right? Because my eyesight's not great anymore. I thought I don't recognise too many of those England players.
Oh dear!
The national anthem's changed. What's going on? Maybe the King's changed the national anthem, Paul. Eh? He's changed that. He's changed everything else. He's changed the national.
I was going to say we might have what do they call that? Call to prayer. We might have that as a national anthem.
Well, do you know what? I'm thinking. Apparently, the royal family have abandoned Buckingham Palace, right? And do you remember all those memes that used to go about when ISIS was back? ISIS used to create those graphics as Buckingham Palace as a mega mosque. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Charlie is going to sell Buckingham Palace and the crown jewels to the Sultan of Brunei.
Well, he wouldn't sell it. He'd give it away, wouldn't he?
Well,
FP, thank you very much.
Well, no,
mate.
they'd probably sell it to the Qataris, you know, because the Qataris are good at buying, you know, vital infrastructure in London, you know.
Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, FP. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And yes, please do give us a thumbs up. It really is much appreciated. The wonderful Claire Bear, who I will be seeing very soon. She's going to be sunning herself on the beaches of Benidorm for a few days. People won't support Restore all the time. They're being told by certain YouTubers that if you were with Advance or Reform, you're not welcome.
I know.
Even in other people's chats, you get attacked. Asked for, Claire, it's crazy. Yeah.
We know. Listen, it's you know. I mean, look. The bottom line is, you know, we don't want to get into that world war, you know. But the reality is, Rupert, I think, is basically saying all the right things. What we need to do is find a way of getting people together, and that's all that's important. You know?
Julie, well said, Richard. I refuse to sing Miss My Queen.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
That was one of my ambitions in life, to meet the Queen. Never did get to, obviously. Yeah, never got to meet her. Did see her once, very briefly, in a car, went past. And I was probably about 5, I think.
Yeah. Well, I saw in 1977 the Queen's.
You might have been in a car behind me, Richard.
Jubilee. I might have been.
Raven, the government has made us less than livestock in their own country, and they come here to hunt us because they're allowed to. They are above the law. It's a great
I mean,
comment. That.
do you know what, Paul? I mean, when you look at what's happening, I mean, this is why there needs to be. I'm going to tell you now, if we don't get a political solution, I think there has to be something else happen. Because if we don't have a political solution, look at what they're doing. They're sending thousands of these scumbags to places like Linton on Ouse, Oban in Scotland. Oban, have you ever seen Oban, Paul? Little seaside village in Scotland, a beautiful, beautiful village. And there's sexual assaults going on. There's women getting confronted and molested, right? By these scum.
Yeah, Richard, I was going to mention that. I've got. Thank you for reminding me. I mean, I've got a little note here. I've been through X. I mean, there's things happening everywhere, all over the place, every day, and it's not even news anymore. I mean,
no.
Just tonight, a friend of mine at least. Yeah, go on.
Actually, I must check. There was something happening in Belfast today. I must check this actually because I don't know whether there's been anything else.
There's things happening all the time, every day. I mean, just it's a minor, relatively a minor, but it may not have been. You know, immigration arrest after a collision on a West Sussex A road. There's a picture of a van on the roof.
Yeah.
You know, and every day the country is being attacked. I mean, I like that previous description. I like that. The government have made us less than livestock. And I think that's a really, really great analogy. We are being treated like cattle. Taken off to the slaughter. DJ Hertz. Has anyone watched Citizen Vigilante yet? I've read so much about it, but I've not seen it.
I've seen it.
Worth a watch?
Yeah. I've done. There's actually a little video of, and it's kind of like it's a tribute to Citizen Vigilante. You can play it if you want.
Is it true, Rich, that they asked you to be the starring lead role in it?
Well, there's a sequel, Paul. That's all I'm going to say. There is a sequel.
Okay, right.
There is a sequel.
I'm
currently trying to talk Lawrence Fox into making an English version.
Do you know what? Do you know what? If Richard was to get the part in the film, you know, in the opening scene when the bloke's dead on the floor and he's been murdered, he's laying on the floor like that would be Richard's part.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
The cat love wins. Not my king. I know I can be a twat. You want to come out for a beer with me one night?
No, I don't. I've been there, done that. You know, once bitten, twice shy. You know?
Do you remember the hotel room after the?
Yeah, with me, you and Danny.
Yeah, we won't go there.
Well,
don't. Yeah. Nothing like that, by the way.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
No, nothing like that. Definitely nothing like that.
We weren't even sharing a hotel room. I can't remember how we all ended up in the same hotel room anyway. But
we was doing the live, weren't we? Not my king.
Oh, that's what it was. We were doing a live.
6.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Okay, let's just squash that rumor right now. We were doing a live in the hotel room. That's what because we had to get Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I miss the Queen. Defend Christianity. Thank you. Cat love wins.
Yep.
Really appreciate that. Sorry, brother. I didn't mean to cause a bother. Listen, Charlie, I'm always up for talking about football, mate. I love a bit of football, don't I? Sounding like the F-no that lad, says Cole.
We're not
Cole. No.
Not at all. I think it's a very valid point to say, okay, an England team should really be full of Englishmen.
Well, let me just respond. I'll tell you what, Cole, what provoked that chat was a video that I watched on X earlier on of an England player saying that his heart was really with Ghana. So that's what prompted the conversation. And my view on it is, or my question was, is international football now, not just England, but essentially across Europe? Because if you look at the Japanese team, guess what? They're all Japanese,
exactly.
Right? What my question was, should we just accept now that international football is more like club football, where you can pretty much play anyone you like as long as they've been to your country on holiday for a fortnight?
But Paul, the percentage of, and it could be like boxing. I mean, you look at the black lads in boxing, that they seem to be superior to white people in boxing. They're more muscular, heavier boned, you know. So there seems to be more black lads that are doing really well in boxing, obviously, apart from, what's his name? Tyson Fury. But the football, here's the weird thing about the football. If what you said was right, Paul, and I think it was when we count them up, there was 3 white lads on the pitch, right? And 8 black or coloured lads on the pitch. That's not representative of the population of England. So either genetically black people are better at football than white people, or white people are not getting the chances to train as well and at such a high level as black lads. That's my only question, you know. And is there anybody that knows any information about that that's in the football game that knows there has been a sort of diversity thing going on? That's all I'm asking. I am not. If we win the World Cup, I don't care what colour you are. And I've always said that.
No, and it's a conversation. It's a conversation. Yeah, it's a conversation.
It's not saying it's right or wrong. It's just saying, is there something happening with diversity quotas that we don't know? Because we know for a fact that things like the RAF were actually saying they weren't recruiting any white people to be fighter pilots.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything as sinister as that, Richard. I mean, he could have quite easily have taken Cole Palmer and
Harry Maguire.
And the lad from Man City, whose name escapes me for a moment. The little fella, what's his name? Anyway, Foden, Phil Foden, yeah. Right? Well, but he didn't. But you know, as I say, for me,
Paul, do you know what? I'm so cynical now, mate, that I would say that my hunch could be right. And I'm not even on about the selection of that specific team. I'm on about the opportunities that white working class lads get to play football at that level and to be pushed forward at that level, right? That's my question. Because let's get it right. White working class lads, right the way throughout the UK, including in Northern Ireland, are the ones that are thrown on the scrap heap. Whereas every other community is wrapped in cotton wool, given all the opportunities that are available and more, except the white working class. Now that's a fact. People, this is not me, going off on an ethno-nat rant. That's just factual that white working class lads have less opportunity than anybody else.
The only time I ever saw anything like that when I worked at Fulham was we had a player there from Japan. His name was Junichi Inamoto, and they really signed him mostly not because he was such a great player. I mean, he was a decent player, but the view was it was good for marketing. To have a Japanese player, it was very, very good for marketing. There was another player there of Asian background, Zesh Raymond. He was he was given, I think he was given a bit of preferential treatment, to be honest, because he was not really up to the level that was required. But, for me, the conversation is more about, is international football becoming more like club football, where you can sign anyone you like, as long as, the Ireland team have done it for years, haven't they? Let's be honest, the Irish football team have done it for years. Most of the time, if you listen to the Irish team speak, most of them speak like Londoners, So it's gone on for years. It's just a conversation. Claire Baird, thank you, Claire. Richard, I happen to like women's football, you cheeky sod. Yeah, I like the women's football. I do, actually, because it's slower. I don't mind it. I really liked it. I quite like enjoying the international football, not the club football, but
yeah.
Janine, thank you. My hubby was in a pub in London last night. Met Terry Butcher, proper old school player and lovely man. Good old days of proper football. Yeah, Terry Butcher. Who would ever forget the picture of him covered in blood? And that was after
wasn't he?
And that was after having a chat with Richard in the pub.
That normally happened to people in the 80s.
Charlie, Messi could have played for Spain. It's stupid. Yeah, I think exactly, Charlie. This is the debate with the football thing. What criteria now is needed to be able to play for your country, You don't even have to be born in the country anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing about it, isn't it? If you don't have to be born in the country, that really does open the floodgates, you know.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can play. Mate, the bottom line is anyone can play for anyone, really, these days, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which I think is, you know, for me, it kind of takes the, you know, I want to see 11 Englishmen play 11 Frenchmen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I want to see 11 Dutchmen play 11 men from wherever, Senegal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the Senegalese team run out next week and they got a load of white fellas that they've brought in from the Premier League, right? Is it Senegal? Not really.
No, exactly. I mean, but I think it does bring me back to that question, Paul, which is about the white working class lads up and down the country who've been left behind. And this is, you know, this is not me making this up. I mean, there was a story on the BBC website, 23rd of March, 2026. White working class boys been left behind, says MP, and it goes into a whole lot of studies that proves the point that white working class kids are 100% been left behind. You know, so this isn't an imaginary thing, and this is what causes resentment. This is what causes lads in Belfast to go out and burn stuff, because, and it is to do with immigration. It is to do with lack of opportunity. It is to do with the two-tier policing, the two-tier education. Everything's two-tier. And I think these things are what drive ethno-nationalism as well, Paul. And that's a really important point, because, you know, the reality is there's a lot of very valid points that people have that I wouldn't agree with a lot of what they say, but when it comes to demographic replacement and it comes to us becoming an ethnic minority in our own country, that's just not acceptable. We just can't have that. And the more white working class men are put upon and made to feel guilty for being white working class, the less they're going to have families, the less they're going to get married. They're going to be more likely to get involved in all sorts of stuff they shouldn't be getting involved in. And I think that's something that definitely needs addressed. And anyone that knows me, I am not driven by race at all. And
No, exactly.
But at the same time, if the people of this country are being turned into second-class citizens by a white elite, by the middle-class white elite who have an absolute visceral hatred for white working-class right-wing people, and that's why Tommy's been so badly treated, and that's why Richard Tice made the that lot comment. This is something that's really important and really needs to be addressed, Paul. You know, because it was good enough for blacks in South Africa and in America in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in South Africa, and they had a just cause and people fought their cause. Who's fighting for the white working class in England? Who's fighting for the white Protestant working class in Northern Ireland? Nobody. They're just, anytime there's anything goes wrong, they're just called racist, thugs, gammons.
Cow. Go back to that comment a minute ago. We're treated like cow. It's an interesting point, Richard. Someone mentioned earlier on that I was on a website I was looking at. A video. Haaland was born in Leeds. He could have played for England.
Who?
Haaland. Erling Haaland.
I don't even know who that is, Paul.
The Man City striker.
All right, okay. He was born in Leeds. Yeah,
he was born in Leeds. Yeah.
And who does he play for?
Is he Danish? I can't think now. Is he anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's neither here. I mean, somebody mentioned Ryan Giggs there. I mean, Ryan Giggs, his dad was from Sierra Leone, so Ryan Giggs could have played for Sierra Leone, as well as Wales and England, So, but yeah.
Right, just looking through some of the chat here. Thank you so much for all your chats tonight. Been brilliant. Charlie again. Thank you, Charlie. FIFA and the UK government rules state if you live in the country for 5 continuous years, you're eligible to play for the national team. I mean, that's bullshit, isn't it? That means in 5 years' time, Richard, I'll be eligible to play for Spain. They'll be banging me door down.
Exactly. Anyway, people are bored of football now. We're getting it in the comments, Paul. People are getting bored. So
Right, we'll give it up. We'll give it up.
Yeah, let's
Right,
go.
that's it for tonight, Richard. I think
Yeah.
where are we? Hour and a half. I think that'll do. We'll play out with the big one tonight,
Let's
shall
do
we?
it, man.
Let's do it.
Well, we
Richard,
could-
have a
we could
lovely
play out
week.
with the Citizen Vigilante, but get your channel banned.
Yeah,
I'm
give
gonna
the channel
remove it.
thing, yeah. Right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, please give us an upvote. If you haven't already subscribed, please
Yeah.
do so. By the way, me static videos, I was watching a video earlier on, someone was saying exactly the same as me. For whatever reason, YouTube are killing our static videos. So if you haven't already seen them, please go back and watch the last 2 or 3 videos I've made. I think they're all worthwhile watching. Have a lovely week, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.
Yep.
From England's heart to Scotland's hills, from valleys wide to Ulster's will, the drums are sounding, the call is near, for every patriot to gather here. 4 nations, 1 kingdom, together we rise, beneath 1 flag under British skies. We will not bend or compromise. 4 nations united before your eyes, our voices thunder, our banners fly. 4 nations, 1 kingdom till we die. 4 nations,
They tried to break what we became, to turn our love to doubt and shame. We've led as one through many wars, defending home, our sacred shores, through crown and cross, through grief and pride. All 4 nations side by side.
4 nations, 1 kingdom, together we rise, beneath 1 flag under British skies. We will not bend or compromise. 4 nations united before your eyes, our voices thunder, our banners fly. 4 nations, 1 kingdom till we die. England stand proud, Scotland stand tall. We'll breathe fire, Ulster give all. This is our land, our truth, our sound. Together we stand, together we belong. 4 nations, 1 kingdom, forever we'll stand. Bound by honor, heart and hound. Let them curse, let them conspire, for we are one through blood and fire.